Okay, so today's video is it's about being a frontline scout. It's not a terribly inspiring video, but it is somewhat informational. It gives you a spot on this map and a general idea of how I do it. There are a lot of people who passive scout for a frontline scout. I don't believe in that. I believe in being a frontline scout actively and looking for those situations where you can capitalize. Now, certain maps have positions that are better for some tanks than others. Now, the T21 is not the best scout in my opinion. Driving it because I want tanks higher in the line. But it is quick enough to get where you need to go before everybody else is in position. So, there's a spot on this map that I really enjoy. A lot of scouts use it. It's not an unknown spot. It's relatively defensible, especially if you have good covering fire from behind. It depends on where their RD sets up. If their RD sets up properly, they can nail you like nothing. So I get into position, and I'm just keeping an eye out right now so that when they pop up above the ridge line, my guys can hit them. It's not as important that I am able to hit them as it is for my guys. However, I do like to be able to fire. And since this is a tier 8 match, I've loaded premium. Just fire a couple of shots to let people know that they're spotted. They don't have to pen. If they do, that's great. But it's just enough to make them nervous about coming all the way over the hill. Because if they come down that hill, then they actually have light on the guys behind you. This guy I miraculously lit on fire. So that was a great coup for me. Made me feel good about myself. But you just keep an eye on what targets are popping up, fire shots on them. If you hit, you hit. If you miss, you miss. It's more about keeping constant fire going because you have a higher rate of fire. So whether you're penning or not, as long as you're putting out fire. See, now they've realized exactly where the scout is. So I'm going to fire this last shot and get out of the way. I'm still scouting. I'm still keeping everything lit. We've got a couple other people down in the area now, but they're on the other side of the rock, so I still have to light these guys back here. Now, the object of this spot is not to survive the entire battle. It's to allow your team to do as much damage as possible before you lose eyes. The more damage your team can do before you die, the better. Now, I've got a Centurion right here. I'm absolutely buggered, but I do take my last shot, and he pops me. The idea of a scout tank is to enable your allies to do damage. And this one I did phenomenally with over 1100 damage myself. But if I'd been more cautious, I could have lasted much longer through the battle. I'm a little bit aggressive for a scout player, but I do my best. So there you have it. Once again, another